Hello viewers, this is Ash. Welcome to Ash Yogi London. In this video, I interview none other than a former detective inspector with the London Metropolitan Police. The police I consider to be a necessary evil. I live in London, have the luxury of living in London, and I consider it more or less to be a safe place. And therefore, I feel safe that we have a police force that are here to preserve the law, uphold the law, and keep me, my family, my property, my livelihood safe. But that said, over the last 30 years, my experience of the police has sometimes been very, very frustrating. To see how they've acted, to see how they've behaved, the misunderstandings, the sometimes jumping the gun in the face of innocence. And so, for me, as a sports therapist, as a Kundalini yoga teacher, it's important for me to understand what is going on with our police force. These are men and women. So, am I to judge them, or am I to help them do their job, or help them heal in some way? And so, I had to go to the heart of the matter. And somebody who is really bringing this work to the forefront is none other than Jackie Wakeford-Smith, aka Simranjeet, Kundalini yoga teacher extraordinaire. She has been described as having had an unprecedented 30-year career with the London Metropolitan Police Force, a mother of two, a wife, and for some time now, a Kundalini yoga teacher who is bringing her experience and her knowledge of the technology of Kundalini yoga into the world of healing trauma. Having gone through her own journey of healing trauma, having worked with many others through classes and workshops, and now even bringing it into mainstream, into helping her colleagues in the police force. So I think you'll find this a fascinating interview. This is the second interview I've done with Jackie, and I'd love to hear your feedback, and I hope you enjoy it. Hello viewers, welcome to Ash Yogi London. My name is Ash. I'm here today with Jackie Wakeford-Smith, aka Simranjeet. Jackie Wakeford-Smith is a former detective inspector with the London Met, now Kundalini yoga teacher extraordinaire. Jackie, hello.
Good morning.
Good morning. I interviewed you about about a year ago, and where you were at then. What's going on now? Where are you at now in your life?
Wow. A lot happens in a year, doesn't it? An awful lot happens in a year. What happened? I'm fully retired now from my career. Very difficult to put down, I have to say, because it was my life, and I really enjoyed it. I loved it, and 30 years is a long time. So I put that down. I retired on the Monday, but actually the Friday before, I started a level 1 Kundalini yoga teacher training course in Kent. So it was kind of straight out of one thing, straight into another. And we had 10 people that came on the course to learn all about Kundalini yoga, and that finished in June. So that was good. That took me through what we call a period of time. But whilst I was doing that, I was kind of looking at myself and what actually had I been through. What was it that I'd been through? And to understand it, I kind of wrote my own course about trauma, and looked at Kundalini yoga and the different meditations and the different kriyas, and the philosophy behind it, to understand really what my life had been, what had happened to me, and who Simranjeet was. She was this other person who had always been there, but very quietly been there, was now really coming into the world, and I didn't fully understand it. You may recall a year ago I said I don't think I'll ever fully understand what I am as a woman, Well, I've looked at that over the last 12 months, and yeah, it's fun.
Wow. Wow. So you've devised a course on trauma.
Yes.
Okay, so that's releasing trauma, living with oneself. Okay, so who is this course for?
Well, of course, it's for everyone. You know, you could say, oh, it's just for people that have suffered trauma. You could say it's just for people who live with people that suffer trauma. You could say it's for practitioners who work with people that suffer with trauma. But for myself, I've been with all of those because within my own family, my husband had suffered trauma, so I knew what it was like to live within that. He got very, very badly injured within the police, so I was helping him at home for a very, very long time. Through my own coming to terms with my career and some of the things that I've been exposed to, I'd had to see some specialists at the end. So from a small perspective, I could see, you know, some of the questions that they had been asking me. So you could say it's appropriate for them. And also those that have been through it. Those that have been through it as well. So the course is for everyone. And I was quite surprised because a Kundalini yoga teacher said to me, oh, you should get a Complementary Medical Association to have a look at that. And I said, well, who are they? And I didn't realise that they were a governing body who endorsed, shall I say, alternative health care. So they looked at the course that I had written and they endorsed it straight away. So what I've written has been endorsed by the Complementary Medical Association. Yeah, I mean, I say it's working development. It's at a stage now where I'm teaching it. And does it serve people's needs? I'm only sharing my experience, what I use through Kundalini Yoga, and is this going to help you or not? We won't know until you try it and test it for yourself. I can only share what I did.
And for the benefits of some of our viewers, what are we defining as trauma?
Well, that's a huge question. That is a huge question because there's a scale, I would say, that goes from 0 up to probably about 100. You know, for some people, having their purse stolen, depending on what their age is, could cause a little amount of trauma. You know, it's an impact that happens to them. For someone else being involved in a car crash, car collision, you know, the shock of that could actually cause them a certain amount of trauma. Someone whose partner has been murdered, you know, that's a huge shock. You know, that's a huge subject in itself that can cause a certain amount of trauma, not only for the individual, but also the surrounding family. You want to take it further, anyone that's been sexually assaulted, you know, there's a violation there of the body that causes trauma. It can cause trauma then to people that are around that, i.e. the family, or practitioners that are working to solve that problem. So trauma is a huge subject. You know, I was diagnosed with acute post-traumatic stress disorder, and actually find people say now, oh, I've got PTSD. It's a really common phrase right now. Well, actually, from my own experience, A, you don't know you've got it. B, you don't understand what you're actually going through when people start sharing their stories with you, because it starts bringing up so many memories for you. And for me personally, I went quite introvert with it and isolated myself. So, you know, trauma is a huge subject, and I do not put myself out there as an expert, because I can tell you I'm not an expert, but I am an expert about me. I know who I am, and I know how I function, and I know what it is I need to keep me going about my daily life, feeling happy and motivated.
Yeah, and just to remind our viewers that you know, you're described as having had an unprecedented 30-year career with the on the thin blue line, essentially, with the London Met and so you've seen your fair share of trauma as well as experienced it, I would imagine.
Well, I mean, how do you describe a typical day in the life of a cop? there isn't a typical day in the life of a cop. We see things that you couldn't even begin to imagine. And, there's lots of programs on TV about police officers and cop series. And you get a snapshot of what our life is. Being a police officer is nothing but service. You put that uniform on and you go in and you put your life on the line every single day. And people don't see that. Doesn't matter. I don't need you to see it. It was my choice. That was the career that I chose to take. But in a day, I may deal with a cop desk. In fact, I dealt with cop desks. I may have gone to a scene of a GBH, a grievous bodily harm attack. Someone's been assaulted. The following day, I might have been taken up to London and been involved in maybe demonstrations and riots. I mean, I was actually in the Croydon riots. I served at the Olympics. There is so much I can't even begin to tell you. And the expectation on a police officer now is to respond to these calls, certainly when I was in it, within 12 minutes. 12 minutes.
Yeah.
Get there, be there, sort you out, and then get on to the next call. And I actually said to someone during the week, they lost some work that I had done, which I was most upset about. And I actually said, I get really mad when you lose my work. Because in my job, had I have lost something, I would have been in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble.
Huge repercussions, yeah. Yeah.
Huge repercussions.
Yeah.
Huge repercussions.
So you're under pressure, you're under fire, and time is of the essence, kind of thing. Go.
But we had a great sense of humour. We all had a great sense of humour.
Yeah. Yeah.
We had a lot of fun. We relied literally on each other for our lives.
Yeah.
It's a unique role. Everyone's job is unique. Everything that we do is unique. But in the police, we talk about everything leaves a trace. If you go into a scene and you put your fingers on something, you leave a fingerprint. So everything leaves a print. Everything leaves a mark. So every interaction with people leaves a mark. And what are you leaving? Are you leaving a good mark, or are you leaving a mark that's just going to leave scars?
Yeah.
And I'd ask that generally about life.
Yeah, and so you've used Kundalini yoga as a healing modality for yourself. You've taught students, classes, and so now you've devised this course for people to learn about trauma, heal their trauma. So where can people come to experience? Are you teaching anywhere? Have you got any workshops going on? Is this and where is this course happening?
I'm going to be at Joy Yoga in Dalston.
In Dalston, yeah.
Joy Yoga in Dalston, and it's scheduled to happen on Saturday the 6th of October and Sunday the 7th of October. So that's 2 days. If people would like, and it's for women only. I decided to separate it out. I'm doing a workshop this weekend, in fact, for men only. And then the course is going to be for women only. And depending on the feedback that I get, whether it's serving people, then I will do it for men only. So that's how I have chosen to do it as I launch it out into the world.
Sure. So at the moment, it's in the form of workshops. Is there a plan to have like a longer, a course, or is for now it's just going to be workshops?
It's a 2-day workshop.
2-day workshop, yeah.
That's the launch of the course itself.
Got you. Okay.
And to develop something, you need to be working with people. I can work with myself, and I can say that this is what's worked for me. But actually, is this working for you? Isn't it working for you? Have you taken on a daily practice? I mentioned it before when we spoke about sadhana. Yogi Bhajan is really clear about sadhana. He doesn't say you have to do it. He just says what the benefits are.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you have to do it. I'm just saying it worked for me.
Yeah. And sometimes it's daily practice. Yeah.
It just means daily practice.
Yeah.
Well, first thing you do is do your daily practice. And in the end, that starts working for you. It starts making changes in your life. And, you start flowing through life incredibly happy. If I can deal with all the rapes and all the murders and all the domestic violence and all that hate, and it was pure hate that I dealt with, if I can deal with that in my life and come out and say, do you know what, I'm 54, I'm pretty happy, life is pretty cool, why don't you give it a go? This is what I did. That's not to say, Ash, that the NHS does not work. I need to be really clear here about this. This is something to support. As with anything, it's personal responsibility. You have to self-initiate and you have to decide, this is for me, I'm going to give it a go. That does not mean you exclude your GP. If you're having support from the NHS, then continue that. If you're having support from psychiatrists and psychotherapists, then it's really important that you continue that. I've had several people come to my classes who have been suffering with trauma, who have had that support mechanism around them, and slowly now they're standing on their own 2 feet and they're going off out into the world, which for me is fantastic. Because I don't want to be collecting a group of people. I've got my own little friends that I need to take care of. So it's about coming in, having a look at it. Does this serve me? Is this going to work for me? I'm going to give it a go.
Okay. So, and do people have to have experience in Kundalini yoga, or can they be absolute beginners?
Absolute beginners.
Absolute beginners. Okay.
You've got to come with an open mind and an open heart, yeah, and know that whatever it is I'm experiencing inside, I've got to be managing this. I'm not only pushing it out into the world. I've got to be managing it. Come into an environment where you feel safe, you feel included. You feel you're with other people that have had their own issues and things to deal with, and I'm just going to quietly work with the techniques of Kundalini yoga. And that's what this is about. I'm not a therapist. I am a Kundalini yoga therapist, but I'm not a doctor. I'm someone that has experienced my own trauma, and I have used Kundalini yoga in order to address that.
Great. Awesome. So if they want to find out more, if people want to find out more about who you are, what you do, what courses you're running, what classes you're running, where can they go?
To my website, oneself.yoga. I teach locally where I live, so you can come to a public class twice a week. I'm part of the Aquarian Teacher Academy, so you can come to the Level 1 teacher training course down in Kent, if that's what you choose. Or you can come over to DALSTON and experience this course there. You'll find me on the Kita website.
Brilliant. Well, Jackie, it's been a real pleasure.
Thank you. It's nice to see you again, Ash.
Awesome. And look forward to seeing more of you, more videos and more classes and more workshops.
Oh, no, I'll save that one for next time.
Oh, you can if there's something juicy to share.
I went in and did a well-being day for the police.
Okay, yes. Tell me about that.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming. I was asked to go in and do it.
And this was a well-being day at
Empress State Building in
right.
London.
Right. So, exclusively for police officers.
It was specifically for police officers. We had 70 police officers turn up.
Wow.
We taught them how to meditate.
Wow, brilliant. Wow, that was a big opening.
They were up for it too. So my intention is later on in the year, I've not done it yet, but I will, is to host some classes and workshops at the Warren in Surrey. So you'll be able to find me there as well.
Great. Brilliant.
I just remembered that one.
No, absolutely. It's great to hear that. Great to hear it. And exciting news, and what a breakthrough to be getting into the mainstream like that. Really good. Yeah, really good.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Jackie. See you again.
Oh, bye-bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.